NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Homie, New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 364 of the NYYST podcast. We're live on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm with SGR.
Okay.
And sitting in for Chris, the boss, Pete Simonetti. What's up, Pete?
Yo. How you doing?
All right, listen. I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to get this out of the way at the start of the show, okay?
Okay.
Listen, Ryan, speaking to you directly, okay?
Okay.
I know we spoiled this on social media earlier, but you don't go on Twitter, okay? Listen, we're going to have a special guest on the show later.
All right.
Don't go anywhere.
All right. I'll try not to, but I don't know. Can you guys even hear me? Can you even hear me right now?
I hear you, bro.
Saying my connection's unstable up top there, so I don't know, but we'll be good.
I'd always worry about the connections.
Yeah.
Okay. The connections. You never know what happens with connections.
Yeah, we gotta just. I think I'm gonna be good though, because
7 years of this friggin' podcast, and every time somebody's on here, Ryan disappears. Okay,
right.
let's snap
that curse.
So weird.
Snap the
it's just
streak.
so weird how that happens.
I don't get it. It's honestly shocking at this point.
Unbelievable.
We're live here on NYYU. It's Thursday night. The Yankees formally introduced Marcus Stroman today as the newest member of the ball club.
Okay.
Before we get into that, about how that all kind of came about, because last week while we were live, the news broke that Stroman signed with the club, and now some reporting came out during the week about how the Yankees and Stroman found themselves in bed together. We'll get into all that. Okay, but before we get into that, okay,
they were in bed, okay.
Before we get into all that, if you're in the live chat right now, smash the like button, subscribe to NYY Underground. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating and review. And if you don't want to do either of those things, tell somebody about NYYST. Tell somebody about NYYU. Word of mouth. Let's go. We're ready to take the game over. Spring training is just about a month away. Pitchers and catchers report on February 14th. And then shortly after, at the end of March, the Yankees will be in Houston to take on the Astros. So it'll be here before we know it. And we want to be the one-stop shop for all your Yankees news and content. So do all those things. Help drive us up the charts. Tell a friend. Let's go. NYYST and NYYU, okay?
Tell a friend, tell a family, okay? Tell a family's friend, tell everybody you know.
Please.
That's it. Just go outside your house, start screaming NYYU, subscribe, throw eggs at people. Tell them to
it's going to snow in New Jersey again tomorrow when you got to go salt the driveway and you see the other douchebag across the street. So on his driveway, you just don't even say hello to him. Just be like NYYU, okay?
Is that bad? Because I'm like that, right? I don't like going outside when my neighbor's outside. I'm like, please don't. You don't have to talk to me.
I don't want to see him. I don't
want
want to see
you.
him.
Can I tell you something? When I go to visit my mother, right? If the neighbor is outside, I stay in the car until they go back in the house.
Absolutely.
I don't want to make. I don't want to make
You don't
small
want to make
talk.
small
I'm
talk.
not a fan of it.
Nobody wants to do small talk all the time. Everybody wants it. Not everybody does.
Oh, I'm not a stop and chat guy. We were just talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm before we came on. I'm not a stop and chat guy. I'm a keep going guy. I got business to handle. Okay, I don't have time to talk to you.
Apparently, I opened up spice shops. Okay, but spice shop. Okay,
A little spice shop. Okay.
Larry David, we love you, Larry. We love you. Good luck on the last season coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait a second. Actually, I have it right here. I use that every time during game season when they go to the mound. I just put that on.
That's good. That's a good bite.
It was a mess last year, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully going to the mound won't be as much of a mess. I like how you set that up there, Pio.
I tried.
Drove right into that. Hopefully the going to the mound won't be as much of a mess for the Yankees this year, because with the addition of Marcus Stroman, the rotation is solidified. I don't know if it's as sexy as maybe we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
in December with Yoshinobu Yamamoto possibly coming here. But I think the Yankees made a smart move. It's not a sexiest move. I think it's a smart move. Again, like my main concern about Stroman is, can he post 30 times this year? If he can, then I think the Yankees are going to be in good hands with him, because the questions about Marcus Stroman never were, can this guy pitch? We know the guy can pitch. He's a good pitcher.
Oh yeah.
It's, can he stay healthy? Yeah. And can he basically stay out of his own way? Meaning, is he going to, say something on social media that's going to irritate people? But, apparently that's not going to be an issue going forward, because as we learned throughout the course of the week by various
I'm sorry to cut you off, Christian, but my internet keeps saying it's unstable. I really want to get this fixed before we have, that segment. So I'm really sorry, but let me just go check on that really quick. Okay. 2 minutes.
I'll put that thing on the bottom there just in case till he's set up.
I think he's wearing pants, bro, because he just
guy had his whole Johnson hanging out of the damn thing.
But as we learned reporting throughout the course of the week, is that the Yankees made an offer to Blake Snell, and they don't like the price tag on Blake Snell.
Yeah.
Heyman reported that the Yankees, this came out today, Heyman reported the Yankees were at 6 for 150, which is I'm
sorry to cut you off there, but wasn't that what the guy Mike Rodriguez actually
5
reported?
for 150.
5 for 1. It shocks me that they weren't able to work something out on that. 6/150 is a strong offer.
It's 25 a year, which is less than what Rodon is making. So maybe that's what was going into Snell's mind. But also in the course of the reporting is that we learned that Boris is telling teams 9 for 270.
Who's he getting that from? Being honest, honestly,
I don't know.
Who is he getting 270 from?
The Dodgers? I mean, the Dodgers is going to really just go scorched earth this year?
Maybe they'll just defer 200 of it and be like, hey, we'll take the 70 million.
Oh, but the Yankees didn't like the price tag on Snell. We had heard that it was, can't think of this guy. Spencer Jones was the hang up in the cease deal.
Yeah.
And a potential cease deal. The Yankees are hesitant to trade Spencer Jones. Okay, fine. So they had to pivot somewhere, and the pivot point turned out to be Marcus Stroman.
Yep.
Now, I know I made videos and talked out against it because of Marcus Stroman's past, but mainly because this guy pitched 126 and 128 innings over the last 2 seasons, right? You look at a rotation of Rodon, Nestor, Schmidt. You're looking at guys that aren't going to give you a lot of innings. So that's what really worried about Stroman, and the fact that he does have this kind of baggage going along with him right now. Yep. Well, the Yankees decided that he does want the bright lights. He does want the big city. And I'm going to say this about Marcus Stroman. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not. If you grew up a Yankee fan and desperately wanted to go to the Yankees and then heard the GM say that you're not a difference maker and then got traded to the Mets, you'd be pissed off too.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's a nightmare. It's a nightmare situation. Nobody wants to go to the friggin' Mets. Let's get real here.
So the Yankees hierarchy sent the holy trinity of Boone, Garrett Cole, and Aaron Judge to go speak to Marcus Stroman and gauge his maturity level and his interest in being a Yankee. And all 3 of them came back and said that he's not going to be a distraction in the clubhouse, and this guy really, really wants to be here. And that's when the Yankees really put their pedal to the metal here and made him a priority in signing. So, I mean, let's take it this way, right? Should Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge have that much say in who goes into the clubhouse?
I think they're a major part of it. They're obviously the 2 really big contracts on the team. They're known as the leaders on the team.
Well, one's the captain, so
one's the captain, of course, and Judge. God, you could, Garrett Cole probably has just about as much say as humanly possible, besides for Matt Blake when it comes to pitching on the team. So, it's interesting, too, to hear Stroman say that he spoke to Cole, he spoke to Judge, he met, like you said, he met Boone in person, talked to Cashman over the phone. Cashman was like, we'll get to all that stuff. But Yeah, even on Stroman's presser today, he answered everything really good. He had all the right answers, very, very strong answers across the board. And yeah, I think Cole and Judge should definitely have a lot of say on is this guy good for our team going forward? Is he somebody we should decide on bringing in this locker room? Because I mean, one, they should know it better than anybody, and they probably know what's been missing. And maybe that type of personality has been missing. They need more of it. He's obviously a very confident guy. I mean, that's as clear as day.
I do wish then, if this is the tack that they're taking, why they didn't ask Garrett Cole if they should bring Wash Donaldson into the clubhouse.
True, and maybe they felt he was a good one to do. It was another one to bring in with that personality. Who knows? Just turned out he sucked ass at this point.
I mean, if you think about it, if Garrett Cole's being given this much power or amount of respect by the hierarchy of this organization, I don't know why fans are worried that this guy's going anywhere.
No, come on, man. This idea that, oh my God, Cole's going to leave, he's going to opt out, this and that. I'm like, first of all, where is the majority of that stuff coming from, one? And then two, all they got to do is go, hey, bro, here's the other $36 million. You can opt out. And why wouldn't the Yankees do that at this point? Why wouldn't they? Cole has been everything you'd want Garrett Cole to be as an ace. He's going to go down as maybe one of the better contracts. Win or not, I'm talking about solely a contract given to a player. He has a very, very good chance of being one of the best contracts the Yankees have ever signed.
Oh, for sure.
The amount of money and how good he has a chance of being.
If he gets another Cy, right, and they win a World Series with him pitching like an ace, he will go down. Bro, tell me I'm crazy. You know I love Garrett Cole, but if that happens, he'll go down as the greatest starting pitcher in the franchise's history.
He'd be up there. I mean, he's right. He'll be right there in the conversation. There's no denying, especially in modern times. I mean, there's no question about it. Garrett Cole continues this trend of taking the ball, making the starts he does. Like you said, win another Cy Young, get the Yankees to a World Series, and hopefully perform well in the postseason. Oh yeah, I mean, he's a legend among the Yankees, no doubt about it.
No, I could talk about 45 all day, Pete, but we have a special guest here.
Okay.
I mean, unfortunately, I don't know where the hell Ryan dipped off to. It takes that long to restart your internet, but we have the Yankees.
Oh!
We have the GM of the Yankees here, Mr. Cashman. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening.
Sorry, fellas. I'm just doing some breathing exercises here. Can I get a?
Oh. Does that work, Cash?
You breathe in, you hold it for 4 seconds, and it works wonders, Pete.
I gotta try it.
You gotta try it. How we doing, fellas?
Good, Brian. Listen, we know you're a man of limited time, so we want to just jump right into this with you.
Yeah.
Marcus Stroman, officially a New York Yankee. Can you kind of take us through the thought process of signing a guy, number one, that you didn't want 4 years ago, but now he's good enough for you?
It was something that I have talked to Marcus about that, how 5 years ago we didn't maybe coincide, that maybe the asking price was a bit much, Toronto in the division, but we have since rekindled, and now the flame is burning better than ever before, and we're looking to turn that page now, Christian.
I gotta ask you this question.
Yeah.
Also, it came out through sources that you sent Judge and Cole out to kind of recruit and talk to Marcus Stroman. Isn't that your job?
Well, it is, sure. But, I do kind of, if we've seen a little change, a little evolution, right, in how we're operating. And I felt it was best to have Garrett and Aaron go and talk to him, kind of like, I kind of consider those two like the cast of Toy Story, right? You got Woody, you got Buzz. Those two are respectively Woody and Buzz, however, which way you want to do it. And then
you don't call one Woody and one Buzz. They're interchangeable.
Well, I would maybe lean more towards Judge being Woody, right? And then maybe Cole as Buzz, but I haven't really considered that. It's interchangeable for me. And then
Bo Peep is Boone Bo Peep.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to do here. I want to get little Bo Peep involved. I want Slinky in there, Mr. Potato Head, the whole crew, and we kind of got to do that kind of culminates with the theme song, right, by Randy Newman, You've Got a Friend in Me. I wanted to kind of bring those guys aboard to kind of let Marcus know that he has friends here, and no matter how far away he is from his warm bed, he's got a friend.
Do you have anything for Brian?
I don't know, man.
How you doing, Pete? Great
I'm
job
doing
with your
great,
network.
Brian.
We actually are liking what we're hearing, what we're seeing. It's a blunt dose of reality, but sometimes that's the best medicine to move forward, right?
Brian, you are great. I got to tell you, Brian, but I do got to ask you a question. So really, after Marcus, you got the Stroman thing done. You guys kind of hashed it up, right? You talked it out. Everything is okay. Boone probably delivered some cupcakes. They had a little conversation.
Yeah.
Question for you, though. Are you guys done? Is this it? Is this it for the New York Yankees? You made a lot of big moves. Is there possibly something else up your sleeve, so to say?
Well, the door is never closed, right? I mean, this is a franchise that is in constant evolution, always trying to get better. So I can't say that, we will be trying to make deals. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. So we kind of just have to keep making phone calls, maybe check out the website a little bit, see if we can maybe find some good trade offers to give on there. We had a couple today where we traded half of our 40-man roster, and we were able to acquire Bryce Harper. So that is something that we are going to look into and maybe possibly going forward using that website.
Ryan, it was speculated last week on here that the reason why the Yankees have been unsuccessful in a lot of their trades recently is because of your overall reliance on the website. Did you think that you had deals in place based off of the website?
I mean, look, the website's never wrong, so if that's the case, then something's got to change, but it's not me. That website is golden, right? It always kind of lets you know, all right, this is a trade that we can do. And I'd send screenshots, to other GMs. And I don't know. Maybe I got to look into a new strategy. I don't know, Gordon.
Is that probably the reason why you couldn't pull off Oswaldo Cabrera for Corbin Burns this offseason?
Potentially that had something to do with it. We did input Cabrera into the website with a couple of low-level prospects, about 20 of them. However, that didn't end up coming to fruition.
I've heard the website.
Yeah.
The website is very similar to like the videotape on the ring. If a trade is not accomplished in 7 days, the trade dies.
That's right.
That's my understanding.
That's exactly how it works. It has a disclaimer on the bottom that, if this doesn't work 7 days, you might have someone coming through your television screen, jumping out right in front of you. Yeah, from the website. Yeah, it's kind of like a modern day telling of the ring. But our ring is a World Series ring. That's the ring.
All right, Brian, before we let you go, do you think that you've done enough this offseason to get that ring?
Well, I've certainly tried, right? I've tried to add as many people as I can. We did get Juan Soto. We got Verdugo. Now with the addition of Stroman, we have a nice solid rotation. So yeah, I mean, look, if I'm going to give myself a grade, might be a little A. On there. I don't know if we're thinking about it, maybe an A- for right now, but I'm giving myself at least a 90.
Well, do you think that you deserve an A after you let Yashin, whatever the fuck his name is, excuse my French, Yamamoto play you for?
Yeah, Yamamofo. If you
is
want
that
to
what
go,
you guys called him, Brian, when you met him? Yamamoto.
Well, yeah, it might have slipped after once we found out that he was taking a lower AAV. We might have maybe let that slip. Oopsie.
Did he keep the jersey, by the way? Did he keep the jersey?
No, we got it back. We got it back in the middle of the night, similar to Space Jam. When Daffy and Bugs go into the house to get Michael Jordan's shoes. We kind of did that with some low-level prospects to kind of sneak in his house, get the jersey. It is now secure, and we have the number 18 ready to go.
Oh, you're big on your, 90s kids animated movies there, Brian.
I do love a good 90s children's movie.
Okay. Well,
Kindergarten Cop. Brian Bruni was in Kindergarten Cop. That's why. Why do you think I signed him?
Is he the penis and vagina kid?
He might be. I'm not sure. He might have just been an extra.
Okay.
I don't know, but I know I saw his name in the
Well,
credits.
he should have been an extra in your bullpen, but I mean, you used him till his arm fell off.
Well, that's kind of what you do with extras. You don't really respect them as much. You just kind of use them and run them dry.
You
right?
heard this. You heard this breaking news. Brian Cashman has no respect for Brian Bruni.
Well, that's not true. I love the Brunster.
Okay. Well, Pete, unless you got anything else to ask Brian, we're going to let him go here.
Well, I just want to ask Brian one more time. Brian, can you take us through a quick exercise of your breathing, your meditation methods, if you don't mind?
I was hoping you'd ask.
Thank
All right,
you.
so the key is 4 seconds, right? You want to hold.
Is that why
breathe
you're
in.
divorced? Because the key is 4
Watch it.
seconds?
Watch that. So you hold, and then you let out a nice long. As long as you can do it. But actually, I could go on and on, fellas, but I do have to. I'm gonna go climb a skyscraper and write my name on it. Literally, I'm gonna go to the Empire State Building, go on the roof with a Sharpie. So I gotta go,
You are
guys.
something, Brian.
All right,
Thank you,
good
Brian.
luck.
fellas.
Thank you. We
All
thank
right.
you for joining us here. Okay. Well, there you go.
Unbelievable.
The Yankees
Lord.
GM right here on the NYYST podcast. He's a character.
You know, it's something. He really is something else. You know, you finally talk to Brian Cashman. A lot of the bad things you feel like you've said about him, you start to feel a little upset with yourself that you ever said it. Because he's a sweetheart. The guy's a sweet guy. He doesn't mean any harm.
Except for he's put together some terrible teams recently. So,
That is Kei Gawa. You know, you think. But what are you gonna do? All right,
Am I
he
there?
goes. He's you're
All right,
there. You
okay.
scared me for you just froze for a second there.
Yeah, Keiagawa was I don't know. Why do you gotta get me down this rabbit hole now?
We don't have to talk about him. We don't have to talk about Kei Gawa.
Because that was such a reactionary thing to the Red Sox signing Matsuzaka, right? That was his name.
Yeah, Matsusaka. Yep. Daisuke.
What?
Daisuke.
How horribly chapped Keiagawa's lips were too. Like they don't have Vaseline over there.
The only thing I remember, I want to say his first start was against the Orioles. And he got hammered. I mean, and then it kind of never stopped. Then he came out of the bullpen that game against the Red Sox, and it was the best game he ever pitched. And then you never seen him again. He just spent the rest of his career in the minor
for some
leagues.
reason he did pitch against San Diego out there. Maybe he threw like 3 or 4 innings against them. That's the only thing I remember about him.
But he was one of the best pitchers they've ever had in AAA. That is true. He was actually one of the best AAA pitchers ever.
Well, how many championships did they win?
I'm not sure. I think they did win one with him, though. I want to say. I really do. Keiagawa. The legend continues, so they say.
Hopefully the Yankees can win a championship here with Marcus Stroman.
I hope they can win it with the current team they have, to be honest. Somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Buster Olney, I saw this earlier today, said that he really still thinks the Yankees and Snell are destined for a marriage.
Who said that again?
Buster Olney.
See, Buster just worries me, man, because I feel like Buster hasn't been right in the longest time. But man, oh man, can you imagine the Yankees had Snell out of nowhere? Like towards the end of this month, early February, I'd shit myself. Wherever I am, I'm shitting myself. That's it.
There was talk of like high AAV, short term. I mean, that would be the ultimate, like, we're going. I mean, Juan Soto is absolutely a we're going for it move. But like, if you miss on Yamamoto and then you bring in Snell even on 2 or 3 years, that's like that's definitely signaling like we're in this year.
Hell yeah! Again, man.
I think Ryan's back, by the way. Let's see.
All right,
Yeah,
Ryan. Internet connection's good.
It seems like it's better now.
You missed it
plug
again.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this.
We had the GM on. I mean, Ryan, you know how busy
doing
these
this show
guys
once
are.
a week. I know, but I didn't want to make a bad impression with the guy if I'm asking him questions and I'm all choppy. You couldn't like push it back a little bit?
He came on. He just
Oh,
appeared.
yeah,
He's
right.
like,
No,
hey,
I
I'm
get
here.
it. He's probably out of tough
When he
schedule.
tells you that he's ready to go, you don't say,
know.
"Oh, wait 10 minutes."
I know. All right, next time I'm gonna do this like earlier so I can, get all ready. But whatever. I just gotta hope for the best for next time,
Guys, by the way, we're 14 likes away from 100. Smacky that like. We got almost 300 people in here.
So Ryan, we were discussing this. Marcus Stroman was basically given the stamp of approval from Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge.
Seems that way. It seems like that's going to be a common occurrence going forward, that they're going to kind of have to sign off on some of these signings, right?
Yeah. I hope they sign off on Snell.
Yeah.
Well,
that seems like that's definitely like the Judge, at least Judge and Snell are close. So
that's what I'm going to say. Judge would be okay with that one.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Cole
go
would
for
be
it. Go
too.
for it, right? I mean, like,
Go
look,
for it.
and I know there is they're over that tax threshold now, so I know it gets a little tough because I think it's like almost like $1 for $1 almost.
$1.10 for $1.
$1.10 for $1. So think about that. You do a $150 million deal. My goodness. I mean, whew.
Yeah, I mean, what I had read earlier this week is the Yankees are at like 297-ish, somewhere in that number. And they're really not prepared to go past like they want to be around like 315, 320, which apparently would have been where they would have had obviously no Stroman, Yamamoto, that would have put them in that range. So that you do the math on that. That leaves them like $15 or $16 million of what they feel comfortable with, maybe a little bit more. So
Yeah.
if they get Snell, obviously they're going to be willing to push past that number.
Yep.
So now you're hearing, this could be, posturing or whatever. Maybe that's the Yankees do want Snell. If Heyman is correct and they offered him 6 for 150, it's a decent commitment. I'm not saying that it's showing you that they're really like pushing hard for him, because 6 for 150 for a 2-time Cy Young Award winner coming off his best year is a little low considering what they gave Rodon last year.
Yeah.
But
the market, I mean, the market's the market. Where is, I think when it comes to Snell, what's going to end up happening is, do you want to go to a team? Do you want to go to a team that is in contention, or do you want to go to a team that has no chance of winning? I mean, for a couple of years, I think that's going to be the big question. I know Boris, probably wants to get his guys, paid, but at the end of the day, man, you got to make a decision if you want to win or not.
No, that's interesting that you mentioned the market is the market, right? And these guys like, Montas got 16 million, and what's that loser that the Red Sox signed?
Giolito.
He got a bunch of money.
16 and a half or not? Yeah, 19.
19 million a year, yeah.
But where's the money for the two big guys though? Where's the money for those guys?
Where's the
jacket?
The money?
The fucking jacket.
The jacket. What was the guy's name he got it off of again? Something.
Rocco DeMeo.
Rocco DeMeo. Because he was the toughest guy in Essex County until I got true with him.
Yeah, that was a two-year deal, $38.5 million for Giolito.
We got a member, Chad. Jira says SGR Ethernet cable next time, so you won't miss.
I got it now. Now I found it. I couldn't find it, so now I got it. We'll be good for next time.
Damn.
It's all right.
I'm really Mrs. NYYU in here giving you a hard time now.
Yeah, no, I honestly kind of deserve it, so I'm gonna say anything.
What are you gonna do? What happens? It's like the jacket. Yeah. Come on. The Cashman should go in the room and just go, "Hey, Snell, we called you up." He's like, yeah, but I haven't heard from you. Yeah, it's the contract. Sign the contract.
Imagine Brian Cashman trying to pull off like a mafioso.
Oh my God, no.
Oh boy, that could be funny though.
Wow.
Again, where is the money for the two big guys? Like, are they asking for? Do you think they're asking for too much? Both these guys are probably asking for. Well, if the report is true, we know what Snell is asking for. Monty's probably in that similar price range.
They said he wanted what He wanted more
deal?
than Nola
to be what Nola
like
got, which was it was like 172, I think.
Yeah, 172.
Yeah,
I think Monty's better than Nola. I think he's coming off a better year than Nola for sure.
Yeah, I think for Nola too, the ballpark he pitches in probably does him no favors, but he's a good pitcher overall. I think I want to say he's younger than Monty, isn't he?
He's 30. Nola's 30. And Jordan Montgomery is 31. Yeah, so Nola is actually younger.
Nothing crazy. Nothing
No.
too crazy. But I'll just say this real quick, too, as retired war vet also says, and this is true, we knew this already, that the Rangers and Yankees are front runners for Neris, and then the Astros are making a strong push, apparently, for Hader. But when it comes to the Yankees, here's the other thing, too, that we got to remember. This is why I always talk about the Yankees being creative. They could still sign Snell and move salary. There's still a lot of salary on this team that could be moved. You got a couple of relief pitchers who have to make the team that are getting paid quite a bit. You also got, if it comes down to that, you got to be creative and go, maybe pitching is what we need more, or we feel that way. We've improved our offense. And I know people are going to immediately go, yeah, Pete, but if you get rid of Glaber, then, your offense takes a hit. But they've made up so much on the offensive side. I don't think it's going to kill them. Maybe they feel like, if we move that contract, a couple of the pitching contracts, Tommy Kahnle, John Loizaga, maybe they feel that's a better option for them to go add a Snell to this team. I don't know if that makes it up to get them under that threshold still, but it'll put some money back in their pocket. And they do got a shit ton of catchers still. There's a lot of moves that still need to be made for the Yanks.
It's just wild, though, when you look at it, like you talking about the money that the Yankees are comfortable adding, and Dylan Cease settled for $8 million.
It'd have been so tough for me not to make a trade for that guy.
We know what the cost is going to be on him. It's going to be in terms of prospects. But again, like I think we talked about this last week, I'd be much more comfortable trading Spencer Jones for a guy that I have 2 years of control over, as opposed to, maybe Corbin Burns. But how do you say no to Corbin Burns, bro? If they tell you Spencer Jones and, pretty much nothing else for Corbin Burns, I mean, how do you say no to that? I mean, you're going into the season with Corbin Burns and Garrett Cole at the top of your rotation, where your 3 and 4 is Stroman and Rodon. I mean, how do you turn your nose at that?
I mean, just the idea of Cole and Burns back to back is enough to just say, get the deal done however you can. Benz, you got to get that deal done however you could do it. And other than that, too, for a guy, I mean, I guess the main question is, do they even do anything to upgrade a rotation even more? Or do they really feel like right now, with the depth that they have, they're good enough? They're good enough to last to the deadline and maybe make a deal then.
No, nobody wants to hear this, but they like Luke Weaver. They think they do. There's something there.
Yeah, they like Weaver a lot. And he's going to make the team. We know that.
Well, based on the contract, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, based on the contract, we know that already. And to be fair to Luke Weaver, I know, people want to give him shit for the year he had it. I get it. But he did show significant improvement into 13 innings. I know it's not a lot. It's a very small sample size. But let's remember, they see a lot more than we do. We just see the performance on the field. They're seeing the bullpens. They're seeing the spin rate shit, all the analytics also that goes into it. And they feel like whatever he did, that they did with him. I know Cole showed him a different way to throw his fastball. He added velo. He got a lot of swings and misses on the Yankees. Good changeup, good curveball. And, Matt Blake, apparently he's a guy that Blake wanted for a couple of years. is what the report was. I don't know how real that is, but apparently.
So Luke Weaver would be next man up, right? He's in that. I guess you would say he's in the 6th spot if these are the 5 guys that are currently here. And I guess, what would you say? Warren and Beater are going to be this year's Brito and Vasquez. They would be. You
got Luis Heel. Luis Heel's also in there, depending on if they, feel like he's going to remain, and they'll give him every chance to be a starter. But I could see that kid just coming out of the bullpen, throwing 100 miles an hour and just blowing people away later in the year.
Got a wipeout slider too, man. Could you imagine him going balls out for an inning?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's one of those guys where you probably look at it and go, test him as a starter for a little bit, but mid-year, if our rotation is fine, you just say, hey, look, man, forget the starting stuff. Your fastball slider out of the pen the rest of the year.
And then you got to look at a guy like Scott Effross is coming back from injury, which the Yankees liked. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but the Yankees like him, so that he's going to get opportunities. But again, these are both guys coming off Tommy John. How much reliability are they going to have, especially early on in the season? The Yankees aren't going to overuse them right away. You got to put that in there right away, because eventually they will overuse them. So I think it's important. That's what the thing I keep going back to this about signing Stroman that scares me is I think it's important that you needed to really add another horse to this rotation. which they didn't do. Even if they get Snell, let's say if everything breaks right, the market's not there, and they go back to the Yankees, and the Yankees are like, okay, here's what it is. We're down to 3 years, but we'll pay you 35 a year or whatever. Let you opt out after the season if you want to, right? That guy's not a horse either.
No.
So the problem then becomes, we saw how gassed this bullpen was last year. Let's say by some miracle the Yankees did score enough to win a handful of extra games, got into a third wild card. They had no bullpen. This bullpen was shot by the end of August. You can't be in a situation like that again, which unfortunately, I mean, looking at it, again, I said I didn't want to bring negativity into the season last year, but but we have to look at it realistically. Did the Yankees do enough to improve that problem where they had a gassed out bullpen last year? I don't see it, even with Stroman, because this is he's got to do it before I can believe that he can do it, because he's not the Stroman that was in Toronto that threw 200 innings. He's a guy that now throws 128 innings.
Yeah, you gotta. I was saying it earlier on the live, is that out of those 4 other guys not named Garrett Cole, you probably got to get about 140 plus out of 2 of them to really feel comfortable about where this team goes. Because if you do the breakdown, a lot of the teams that made the postseason, they didn't have many guys that had 170 plus innings. So it's just not something that happens nowadays in baseball, to have a rotation of guys that stay on the mound. And that's, again, I don't want to keep going back to potential trades and what you give up for somebody. But it's one of the main reasons why I harp so much on Dylan Cease. 32 starts, 3 years in a row, 200 plus Ks. Who else is doing that? That's his value. Forget about but his ERA, you fluctuated. His FIP is always around the same. But forget about that. The fact of the matter is, consistency in taking the ball is very, very important in today's game. And to be honest, it's rare. Not everybody's out there doing that. So hopefully Stroman goes 140 plus. And, when people talk about why are they asking so much for Cease, well, that's one of the reasons why. He takes the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking for 5 guys that throw
5 guys, all right.
Okay,
He wants a
right.
burger, okay. Burger and fries.
Burger and fries, okay.
But, I mean, somebody's got to be able to help Garrett Cole out in this rotation by giving this team innings.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I mean, honestly, how many times did we sit here, or I tweeted about it, about how pissed off I would be based on, Cole's at 97 through 6 and Boone's pulling him.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
you guys
happen constantly.
Well, one of the things, Christian, that I always shout you out for, and you're 100% right. You said, look, you talk about these rotations and all that, and you made a great point. You go, look, the guy was the Cy Young last year, and they only won 82 games. I mean, you need a great Garrett Cole, but you need a supporting cast. And the Yankees did get a better offense, because I do believe this year, and I know we're not talking about the offense right now, but we can definitely get into that. I feel like this offense is shaped up to win games 9-7, 10-. I truly feel that improved. I really do. I think this offense has a chance to be very, very good this year.
The lineup has to be put together the right way.
Correct.
Because I've seen some mock lineups thrown out there, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Some of these lineups that these people have. I saw somebody have Volpe batting leadoff. I like Volpe, but he's got to start 9 right now.
Yeah,
he's got to be the 9 hitter.
Anything.
Can I ask somebody this honestly? What makes you think Anthony Volpe could be a leadoff hitter? Because he has speed. What has he shown that he could be a leadoff hitter? Seriously.
There were times where he was very selective at the plate last year, so I don't
early
think
in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he could develop that further, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But he strikes out way too much to be stuck at the top of the lineup.
His on-base percentage was under 300.
Yeah.
He has no two-strike approach. I mean, there's a lot Volpe needs to get better with. And that's not a knock on him. He knows that. He'll tell you the same thing. But, yeah, Volpe to me, leave him number 9. I like the idea, to be honest, of Wells Volpe 8-9. I think that makes a lot of sense, and maybe they'll do that. But we'll see what happens.
I don't understand why people, when they put their lineups together, don't have Alex Verdugo batting leadoff. He's the guy for me.
He has to be the guy, man. I will give one warning about Verdugo, and I will put this out there. The whole doubles machine stuff, I think he'll still be a doubles guy, but people got to dial that back a little bit. Because if you do look at his spray charts, that wall really helped him with doubles. You pull up his StatCast and you look at left field, there's a lot of doubles off that. I mean, a lot of doubles off that wall.
But
Not
I love
saying
the
it ain't gonna work.
I love the on base percentage, and
I agree.
I love the contact that he
I think
provides.
I think he's the best leadoff hitter they can have. No,
and
question.
Exactly. He's the best option for them.
Kenny Lofton's not on this team, bro. So somebody's got to bat leadoff.
Right.
Agreed, and that's why, when there was the idea of Luis Ariz potentially being dealt, everybody went batshit crazy because, of course, that would be the greatest damn thing in the planet having that guy leading off for this team. But what's the reality of that? It's extremely low.
Yeah, and just looking at Verdugo's spray chart. Sorry, Christian, but
tell me, am I right or wrong?
Oh, you are so right. It is massive amount of doubles off that.
Think he becomes more of a pull hitter this year?
Could.
You could
But he's
see
a good
that.
spray hitter, though, too. He's a good spray hitter. He's able to go to left field. Doesn't have to go to left field with power.
Good thing is his power, though, is to right field. Like most of his home runs are over the right field side. So,
at the end of the day, I think Verdugo's
at the
end of the day. There we go. He is an improvement to the team, and we do got a super chat from Slim Lewis.
Slim.
He says, "Happy that the Yankees might not trade Glaber. Otherwise, teams will pitch around Soto and Judge, and you are hoping old tired Rizzo, Stanton, and DJ produce." Okay.
Well, I don't
tired?
I don't see Glaber batting cleanup. Do you?
No.
not the start. It's got to be Stanton at the start.
And it's going to be Stanton. I know people don't want to hear
be.
that, guys, but it's going to be Stanton at the start. The guy gets paid a lot of money, and let's be real here. They need him. They need him to show he can produce. If he doesn't produce again, the Yankees, not that they're in a hole, because they do have guys that could come up and hit above 200. Let's be honest. But I think they're going to give Stan every opportunity they can to stay clean up.
Mm-hmm. See how you read a super chat from Slim, and then we're talking about Giancarlo Stanton. See how
he's
that
slim.
works?
Yeah,
slim down.
That's how it works. You got to also too. My guy Acevedo gives a membership, and it goes to Yo Elvis. My guy Yo Elvis. There he is. Okay.
Shit. Good boy.
I mean, there's two guys really for me. Unless we could sit here and be like, what are they going to do? They're going. I would say that they're going to take your pick. What was that stupid number that we were talking about in the chat about what Neris apparently wanted?
Oh, 3 years, $50 million.
Yeah, fuck that. Like if that's the case, you could take a hike.
But apparently it's 2 years, 22, or 2 years, 20 million, or 22 million.
I don't know.
John Heyman says.
Okay, yes. You're going to pay a guy $10 million a year, and he's not your closer though.
No.
You know the way the Yankees structured Clay Holmes' contract again this year. You know he's going to be the closer, and now you're going to bring in.
Sorry, but that sucks to me. I mean, look, I'm not a Clay Holmes hater. Don't get me wrong, because a hater. I use a hater. Okay, all right, but Clay Holmes is good. He goes on his streaks of being really good, but then he's also absolute ass. I mean, you hold your breath even when he's hot. When he's hot and goes out there and is on, you hold your breath early on. He reminds me a lot. If you remember when Chapman would come, and it's like after his first couple of pitches, you can see what he's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like, he's going to lose it like this.
Right.
And you're like, shit.
There's no mystery with him.
Not at all. Not at all. Got a super chat again. Slim Lewis says Glaber in a contract year equals AL All-Star.
You can see it. I mean, that's what Judge bet on himself.
Everybody makes the All-Star team these days because nobody wants to play in it. So by the time they get to the All-Star game, they're on the 11th ranked shortstop or whatever.
You got guys hitting 186 that are in the All-Star game.
I mean, Glaber didn't even make MLB Network's top 10 second baseman. I take those shit. I don't take it. And Ozzie Albies wasn't even on it either. I mean, how do you put a list together?
He had a good year too.
It's rage bait. That's what it is. It's rage bait. It's the only way you get interact. If you put a list together, if I said to you, Pete, give me the top 10 center fielders in baseball, right?
Yeah.
And you ranked them 1 through 10. All the names are there. Boom. No argument. You get 3 likes on it, and no one would think twice about it. If you put Aaron Judge at 1, even though really he shouldn't be there based on being a center fielder, then now people are gonna be like, you're a fucking homer. That's why you put him at 1.
Interaction.
And Okay, now the interaction is coming. See, it's smart, but also it's stupid at the same time.
Smart and stupid. Okay.
It's modern media for you. Just trying to get clicks and people to engage.
So, we heard also rumblings that more likely could be a reunion with Wandy Peralta. I'm a big Wandy guy.
Love Wandy.
I want to say adios to Tio Wandy. I do.
You think he got priored?
I think he got proctored.
Proctored?
Okay? Proctored for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't there Mark Pryor though?
Yeah, Mark Pryor.
That's the
Mark Pryor, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Also
Scott
had
Proctor. Yeah.
Scott Proctor,
problem.
Mark Pryor, okay.
But-
Tanyan starts, all right.
His rubber
Aaron
arm.
Small,
I mean, I feel like his rubber arm finally kind of gave out on him last year, and
Yeah, it seemed like it was starting to get to him a bit, the innings. I don't know though. I love Wandy. He's a big game.
Middleton is
but
a.
the arm,
I mean, they
who
brought
knows?
up Middleton, which I find to be interesting because
I can see him coming back. He's not going to be expensive, and he did pretty well for them.
I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that I was locked into every. What's his first name? Kenyon.
Keenan.
I'm not going to say I was locked into every Middleton appearance because they were usually in losing efforts, especially towards the end of the year when they were cooked. But he's one of these guys that the Yankees think that they could, stick with Matt Blake, and kind of turn around here. And Juan Corella was a prospect for them that they kind of just gave up on to get him for 2 months and not a pennant race. So I mean, maybe that's something that they could be looking at.
That really, the more you think about how odd that trade really is, it's like we got to do something. Just get somebody that's on a contract year. To hell with it. We get him for 2 months. We'll give up actually a decent young pitching prospect. Also, Juan Corella was a good young pitching prospect for the Yankees, and it's kind of weird. That's why I'm like, he's not going to cost as much as these other guys. Z Dane in the chat says that deal pissed me off. But
pissed you off. The only reason why I knew
hugger.
about Juan Corella is because I pulled an autographed card of his out of a pack of Bowman, and then I was like, wow, I never heard of him. So I started looking into him.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, Juan Corella, okay. And then they fucking trade him for a middle reliever I never heard of. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, Middleton last year, 14 and a third innings for the Yanks, 1.88 ERA, three earned runs.
Man. And how much money could he really make? I mean, he's not going to get your 7, 8, 9 million a year.
Two maybe.
That's what I'm saying. 2 or 3 million, and with the whole tax shit, that's probably the route they would go. As Jonathan Alvarez with a super chat says, I think Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh Pirates could be a sneaky move. He made 32 starts, 194 innings, 210 Ks, 4.17 ERA last season. What do you guys think? Here's what I think about that. Yeah, I like him a lot. I know we're very the Yankees and Cashman specifically works well with the Pirates. They know their system well. Yeah. I don't see that deal happening this late.
Yeah, I don't know. And who knows what Pittsburgh's plan is, because they're starting that kid, right, that they drafted. Like, he's going to be up with the team.
So. Skeens, yeah.
Skeens.
I think he will be, yeah.
So I don't know, but that is definitely a name that I've looked into to try and get over here. He threw almost 200 innings last year, the year before 160. So Keller would be a great move, but again, it just depends on what are they going to ask for him. And it seems like Cashman, from listening to I did actually listen to him earlier today. He had a press conference for Stroman. It's the way he was speaking. It sounds like they aren't going to overspend, and they are content with what they have. And if they can make a deal that they agree with or that they like, they'll do it. But I don't think they're going to go overboard for any more signings this offseason.
I don't think so either. And I don't think honestly, I don't think they need to. If something falls into their lap that makes sense, I think they'll do it. I think they've had a really good offseason. And I know people are going to bitch about Yamamoto and maybe, we went from, I heard this on the Fan today. We went from Yamamoto to Snell to Marcus Stroman. Okay. Well, sometimes that's the progression of things. And maybe it turns out that Stroman was the right move for this team. The time will tell. I know, again, like I said, it's not the sexiest thing that they could have done, but I mean, I don't hate the move from a talent level. That's what I want everybody to understand. I don't hate the move from a talent level. From a talent level, I like it a lot. This guy's not going to be fucking scared to take the mound in the Bronx.
Not at all. And then also too, from a contract standpoint, you can't be upset with it. I mean, everybody out there is getting a shit ton of money. This guy took 18 and a half, whatever it is. I mean, It's not a bad deal at all for the Yankees. Not one bit. Not one bit.
We said this, Ron, did we say this last week? 16 million for Montas or 18 million for Marcus Stroman.
And I've used that line when I've talked to people that aren't really in love with the Stroman deal. I just throw that line out there that would you rather have Stroman 18 and a half a year or Montas for 16 and a half? And it's like a clear no-brainer answer. Stroman.
I mean, so basically, I kind of want to just conclude the show here is because we kind of, skirted around this a little bit. We said this last week, and then we can kind of, double down on it and add to it. Give me two guys. Take Cole and Judge out of it, because if they're healthy, they're going to be Cole and Judge, right? Give me two guys that you need to see, and let's even take Juan Soto out of this. We figured Juan Soto is going to be Juan Soto. Take those three guys out of this. Give me two guys that you need to be at the peak of their game for the Yankees to have to have that type of season that we want them to have.
We're going to have the same answer.
I'm definitely going. One of them is Rizzo for sure. I need Rizzo to pick up in the middle of that lineup, because last year it was just too many months of him stuck in that middle of that lineup and not producing. He's my one.
We saw that earlier today that the concussion should be past him though, right?
All right, so that's big. So for me, it was either him or Stanton offensively. For as far as pitching, you got to say Carlos Rodon.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's going to be that real main piece of that rotation, that if he can perform, then this rotation is very, very solid. Same with Rizzo and Stanton. I would kind of have those three are my three pieces, where if those three guys can perform at what we expect from them, then this team goes from one level to a whole nother level.
Yeah, my answer was going to be Stanton and Rodon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. And Brian Cashman had some nice things to say about Carlos. I don't know if you guys, did see that.
Yeah, he said that he voluntarily reported early. He said he was in good shape.
I like that. Yeah, he
did.
I saw
great
a pic
shape,
of
man.
him. He's looking good.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit!" Man, he looks a lot slimmer. You could really tell by his face. His face looked a lot slimmer. His body
Yankees
overall
on
looks
keto.
slimmer.
Yankees on
maybe
keto.
a little keto. Yeah, maybe a little.
They might
keto
all be
going
doing
on
something
there.
going on with their
maybe a little
diet.
calorie deficiency,
or maybe a little kiki.
Okay, a little bit of that.
Let's go skiing. Okay,
got a little ski action. All right, a little white line, 1980s.
Okay.
Miami Vice.
I said it last week on the show that the Stroman signing puts a lot of pressure on one guy, the most pressure on one guy, and that's Carlos Rodon, right?
Hey.
And then, I had it first. Okay, now you see all these other outlets and people writing about how much pressure's on Rodon this offseason or this season and blah, blah, blah. Well, again, ahead of the curve, pal, okay? Anyway. So, two guys, right? If they are at the peak of their abilities, the Yankees go from being what I think is a wild card team right now.
Yep.
To a division winner, possibly
like powerhouse.
A legitimate threat to go to the World Series. And that again is Carlos Rodon. He has to be Robin. I know people think of Robin, but he has to ride shoulder to shoulder with Garrett Cole this year. What we thought we were getting last year with the co-aces, he's got to be that guy this year.
No doubt.
Because if he's not, where are the Yankees getting that level of ability from this rotation? I think he possesses the best opportunity to be great out of anybody outside of Garrett Cole in this rotation.
Yeah, and it seems, sorry, Christian, but it seems now like with the addition of Stroman, if they aren't going to make any moves, that pretty much automatically slots Rodon as the number 2 starter, because they'll go righty, lefty, righty, then Cortez maybe the 4, and then Schmidt the 5.
And the other guy for me, and I'm with Pete on this, and Ryan, you cheated and said 3.
Yeah, maybe. You don't like that.
It's Giancarlo Stanton, bro.
Yeah.
I would even say Stanton over Rizzo now that after talking it out. I would even put Stanton ahead as well.
Not be a 190 hitter with what was his OP? Did he even have a 700 OPS last year?
His OPS last year was 695 last year, Christian.
For Giancarlo Stanton at a 690 OPS.
Career 878 OPS.
Of course. I mean, the guy's an absolute animal. He's going to run in the pitches, but he can't, the type of year he had, he has that again, and you got to seriously consider it's time to just say, pay this guy and go home.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's
Somebody-
a waste. He can't play the
somebody-
outfield no more. If he can't hit, what's the point of keeping him on a roster? It makes no
Somebody's
sense.
got to protect Juan Soto.
Bingo. It's a great point. He'll get pitched around. And look, Soto doesn't mind walking, but if the guy behind him doesn't hit, who gives a shit? That's what teams are going to say. Walk him all day. Who cares? Guy behind him can't hit.
And people are going to say, "Oh, well, then put Soto in front of Judge." Okay, I don't like that because I want to go lefty, righty, lefty. In my head, I'm going Verdugo, Judge, Judge, Stanton, and then you can go Rizzo 5, Glaber, DJ 6, 7, Wells and Trevino in the 8th spot, depending on who's pitching, and Volpe's 9. I think that's the way this lineup works best.
I agree.
Optimal.
I agree. We also got a member chat here by our friend Old Sarge.
What up,
He
Sarge?
says, long day at work and even longer DC Beltway commute. Yeah, that's a tough one. I know that. Didn't realize how much I needed some Brian Cashman. It made my day. Strength and honor, boys. Appreciate you, my guy.
At least you got to see it.
And while we're talking about members and super chats and all that stuff, we got to wish a happy birthday to the GOAT, huh?
Yeah, my guy Rod Thompson.
Oh, shit. Happy B-Day, Rob.
Yeah, today's Roz. I don't want to
That's
say his
today?
age. All right,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say.
Okay,
it
we're not
there.
gonna go there.
I'll just
Okay.
say this: the next one's a real big one. All right. And
Okay,
I
we'll
hope to
teaser.
celebrate with Ra on that
Okay.
one. All right. I
Okay.
will.
Next one's a
I'll be
big one,
celebrating
like
with it.
he's gonna-
Wait a second. Wait.
Wait.
Okay.
Big one.
Okay, big one.
Be
Okay.
30 years old. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Be 30. Be 21.
Okay.
Have his first drink.
He's a teenager now. Okay.
Teenager. Okay. Just turned 18. All right. He's going finishing high school. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just to wrap up that point, I mean, you're gonna get would you say Stanton's getting the first crack at cleanup?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
100%,
No doubt
in
about
my
it. Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
If something happens in spring training for Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman to make the decision that he can't hit cleanup on opening day, that's a big problem.
It's a huge problem. But can I make one? Maybe it's what you call the bold statement, and I'm pretty sure we'll have like a Knights at the Round Table before the season begins to go over all these things. But I think the biggest factor to the Yankees this year, no joke, people actually believe that he's 30 years old. He's not, folks. Just telling everybody in the chat. But I do believe the biggest factor of this team is their depth. They have a shit ton, more than people even know. Because look, if Stanton did go down,
they keep signing guys too, like guys.
and they
with
keep
Major League-
signing guys. But if Stanton they haven't got rid of Peraza. So let's just say something happened to DJ LeMahieu. Well, Peraza automatically fits in. Something happened to Stanton. I really believe the Yankees may say, hey, Dominguez could hit. Let's say if something happened to him in May or June, Dominguez could DH.
Yeah.
And just stay as your DH. And that's your DH. We'll work on your throwing program while you're here, get you prepared at this level. It's not like it hasn't happened before,
I
but
could
you're
see
the
it.
regular DH. I could definitely see it. And on the pitching side, they really do have a lot of arms on the bullpen side in the minor leagues that are close, that are really, really good, young, talented pitchers. Starting side, that could be the biggest key to the season this year, is that they do have guys that can replace. And on top of that, at the deadline, they've saved all these prospects. So if Burns is available, if Cease is available, they could relook at that. And there might be other players that these teams didn't think about that are having great years that the Yankees could then just move. Bieber's another name to keep an eye on how he starts the year. So the Yankees rotation, come the end of next year, if all goes well, could be truly legitimate.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up. I froze again.
You're good.
All right,
No, you're good.
It froze on my end.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't say anything like really bad. Anyway, I'm glad that you brought up Dominguez there because I got into an argument a few weeks ago with somebody when I
Okay,
posted
if he had a fight, all right.
when I posted my lineup, and he's like, "Where's Dominguez?" And I'm like, "Well, he's hurt." And he's like, "Well, he can hit." I'm like, "But you guys don't understand. Like, you really think the Yankees want him on the opening day roster when he's not 100%?" That's why, like, if you're saying May, that's a level of desperation I don't want to see out of this team right now.
Well, Cashman, what did he say today? He said summer. He said some point during the summer he'd expect him back.
Yeah.
start-
As,
I mean,
as
if
as a DH.
Yeah.
Or
Or no, I
full-time.
think by then he should be
Full-time?
good. By then he should be good full time. Yeah, because he'll be hitting in April.
Right.
He'll be hitting in April.
Right,
so.
right.
If you saw Dominguez before the All-Star break, I think the Yankees are because the Yankees are really desperate, and that's not going to be a good thing.
Or an injury.
Again,
Yeah,
that's,
well,
but
yeah,
that,
or a
still
Stanton injury.
something.
yeah, but
something that
again,
you don't
that's
wanna
I
deal
guess
with.
that that's true, but it also kind of leads into the desperation of that they have to fill a giant hole that
Yeah.
that has been created.
True. True.
But let's say Dominguez is 100% come the All-Star break and things are firing on all cylinders. Verdugo's playing well. Judge is playing, Judge. Soto's acclimated himself well. Stanton's giving you a representative year. Where's Dominguez fit in now?
Hey, that's the best problem to have.
Yeah,
Oh, it
that's
is,
a,
but-
that's a good problem.
Yeah, that's
That
something
is
we
a-
talk about a lot.
You remember
That is-
K's famous line years ago when they were kind of having success. It's like it's a good problem, but it's still a problem. That's what he would always say.
I mean, it's true, and that's probably what you would want as even a Yankee fan is to go, hey, look, man, all these guys are having good years. What do you do? Let's say Verdugo's having a very solid season at the top of the order. I mean, do you sit there and go, well, he got 1 year left, dump him, and it's tough. It's a tough decision to make, or what? And you know what? Honestly, maybe the best decision is to say, hey, Jason, stay in AAA.
I know that's what I was going to
Get
bring
your
up.
work.
You're going to trigger a lot of people by putting him back in AAA.
I would not want to see him back in AAA. At that point, if the offense is clicking that much, then they could get rid of one of those pieces and trade him for maybe if the pitching's not clicking as much.
But then you also got to think about, the clubhouse. How was
Sure.
the clubhouse's
If
reaction?
the Yankees
That was a
are in
big
first
reaction
Everybody's gelling
last
They're
couple
in
of
first
years.
place. Yeah,
You're
there's
right.
a lot of stuff that goes into that because
100%.
even at the end of the day, if fans are upset about Dominguez being there, let me tell you something. Fans aren't going to give too much of a shit if they're in first place.
Right. That's
Fans
what I'm
are just
saying.
going to say, fuck it. Hey, man.
If the Yankees are in first place, Alex Verdugo's hitting 280 with a 370 on base, and he's setting the table for Judge and Soto. They're in first place, and Dominguez is ready to come back. You're going to be okay with them trading Verdugo just to get Dominguez back on the team?
Now, let's say Stanton's hitting 240, 245, and, he has a,
And he's got-
a
he's got-
787
Yeah.
OPS. But the other thing, too, that I would think of in that situation is I would just simply say this. Stay there. Something were to happen to you. You're on the 40-man roster. You're right up. Somebody else gets injured. Boom. Dominguez jumps in. So what we need you to do is to get your reps in AAA and play like you're good. And let's be real here. He'll be on the roster for the playoffs because he's so fast. So they'd find a spot for Dominguez somewhere, but that's probably the best case scenario is to go, hey, you know what? Deadline passes, but he's still ours. August comes. Somebody, God forbid, goes down. Call him right up.
Yeah,
call
it is
him
really
up.
hard when you consider the human element.
That's what
there,
she
'cause-
said. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone
She
say
said
hard.
that. All right.
Because now if you do that to Dominguez, well, what's his reaction going to be to that?
Just gotta deal with it.
I
I mean,
was
Gotta
the
deal-
spark. I was the best part of your season last year outside of Garrett Cole, and you're not going to have me when I'm healthy be a part of this team again. That to me it's reminiscent of Miguel Andujar, how his mindset kind of changed when he was getting sent back down. He wanted to be up, and Dominguez is a much different beast than Miguel Andujar. So I wouldn't want to piss this kid off in any way. And that to me, so that's the risk you want to take then, Pete, right? It's either you're going to potentially make Dominguez upset, or you're going to upset the locker room by breaking it up and bringing him up.
And
Well,
he's upset. I call up the Marlins and go, "Hey, how's Yuri Perez doing? You want to
And
make a
then
trade?"
that's where I go. I'm
You're
then
that
and
bad?
then at that
Okay.
point I would have to, if that's the move that they make this year, then at the deadline I'm looking to move Dominguez. As shitty as that
20
sounds,
years
I might
old.
have to move him.
You're 20 years old, cup of coffee in the big time. Oh, yeah. And you're going to complain about being sent to AAA after you had Tommy John surgery while the team's in first place. Then you're not somebody I think we can
Sure.
build around.
All right, so yeah, first place, but I know you're right, but that's just again that human element of what do they
I think
want
the
to kind
real
of.
argument comes next year, especially Soto's here, Judge is here, and the Yankees say, maybe we like Spencer Jones in center field a little bit more better
Yeah,
than
keep
you.
him
and-
until
and-
you get the Soto
Then
contract
this is-
resolved.
then
Then
that's-
it's possible.
Well, we're talking a lot right now, right? About by come July and come towards the deadline, which is the end of July now, that first day of August. We're also forgetting that Spencer Jones is starting the season in Double-A. That's the other thing we're forgetting. You can have two elite prospects
Knocking at the door?
banging on the damn door. And here's another thing too. Dane learned this. He wrote an article about it. Spencer Jones is also starting to get a lot of work at first base. So I don't think they would waste him at first base because he's so. Here's the thing that people don't understand about Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones is not just a big guy. He is a freak athlete. And this is just facts about him. The guy runs as fast as Corbin Carroll does. It's insane. This is the type of level of talent this kid is. So you can have two guys kicking the door down for the Yankees that are going to force them to make some really tough decisions. Because let's be real. If both of those guys are ready, you want to figure out a way to get them on the field. But the Yankees may not be able to with what they have right now. That's why Stanton's bounce back is going to be important. And if he doesn't, they got to bite the bullet there and probably just go, hey, man, unfortunately, you'll probably go somewhere else, but we can't trade you. We're just going to have to pay you and let you go.
Yeah,
Because we can't leave these kids down there. By the way, Nick says, where's the article? NYYUnderground.com.
If Stanton is hitting 210 with like 11 home runs and striking out at like a 60% clip, at the end of June, you have to make a tough decision there.
I think, honestly, though, I think those would be phantom ILs for him. I don't think they will release him now. I think they let him go, but they just phantom IL him. Just sit the rest of the year out or something like. I just can't see them right now. I think, like you said, if he has a horrible year again, you got to start looking at next year and be like, man, if we don't trade these guys and we bring Soto back, well, where are we playing them? You got to find space.
The good thing
Soto
about
and Judge rotating, that rotation on a DH spot is actually perfect for the Yankees.
The good thing about Stanton going on phantom IL stints is nobody's going to question it.
You can't. I mean, how are you going to question? He's always on it. You're right, 100% right. I mean, yeah, Nick, that's a great comparison. Spencer Jones reminds you of Sean Green, but give him Corbin Carroll's speed. A better overall athlete. Kid's a beast. The kid could be an absolute stud. Could he be a bust? Yeah, of course. But he could be an absolute stud.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking about Dominguez, but damn, man. There's a chance you're looking at both of those guys going, holy shit, what do you do here?
These are great. These are great problems in my opinion. And there's still problems, whatever, but I'd much rather have these kind of conversations than the.
Yes, I'd rather be trying to figure out where we're going to
desperation.
play Juan Soto, Spencer Jones, and Jason Dominguez than what we're doing, than the roster construction of the team.
Who were some of the names this year? Who was that guy in right field? He had what was his name? He had like a nickname for a name.
A prospect?
No, he played in the on the team this year. He was like in right field. Started with a C, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. He had a good 2-month stretch.
Let me talk about Chichi Gonzalez again. Is that what you're trying to say?
Chichi Gonzalez.
It's not Chichi.
Willie Calhoun.
No,
Franchi Cordero.
Yeah, Franchi.
Oh, Frenchie. Oh, God.
Yeah, that was. So at least we're straying away from those kind of conversations. Right now.
You know that.
Exactly.
Somebody. Who was it? Somebody said this today. Oh, I think it was early this morning when I was on Morning Brew Sports. TC Steele said it. He goes, the best thing about it is you kind of look at this roster now. You don't see IKF. You don't see Donaldson. You don't see some of those names that we saw last year. I was like, why the hell are these guys on the roster? Yeah. That's a good thing.
The roster does. I mean, a lot of the names and faces are still there, but it feels a little bit fresher in that clubhouse. It does.
It definitely does. Old Sarge with the super chat says, "Is Stanton capable of being Chili Davis?" I mean, you gotta hope he has just some level of strong production. He doesn't have to bat high. Nobody's asking for the guy to hit 280. But man, oh man, you
gotta hit 210. I mean, you gotta hit 220.
What would you be okay with for the year and be like, all right, I could live with that.
30, 35 home runs, 90 RBI, 85 RBI. He's got to produce runs somehow.
Yeah, I would say probably closer to his 2013. No, I don't know, man. I guess 30 home runs, 25 to 30 home runs, and then between 80 and 95.
Can he bat 230? Give me 30 and 80. I mean, is that asking for too much?
Yeah, I mean that would be amazing. But here's the scary thing about Stanton.
230. Jeez.
You look at his last 2 years. The guy's barely hitting 200. I mean, that's the scary thing. So when you do say 230, right? We look at it and go, that's pretty friggin' easy. He could do that. And man, oh man, I don't know. I really don't know. Can he run in the homers? Yeah, he's always gonna run in the homers. He's just an absolute powerhouse. But what do we expect to get better, and why do we expect him to get better?
He
That's
lost-
something that
he
Johnny
lost-
Lasagna. Well, Johnny
lost a bunch
Lasagna
of
put
weight.
that out on Twitter, and he's right. He's like, even losing weight, is his swing supposed to pick up faster? Is he going to be laying off the pitches that he normally goes after and misses? By a
Will that
ton? I mean,
compromise his power too? I mean,
that too. There's a lot of questions. Is he going to be brittle? Is he going to break down even more? I mean,
but you know what
don't
you know what I
know.
appreciate though, and I can say this is that he's trying something different because what
No
he's been
question about
doing
it.
is not working. So why not try this?
Well, you could tell it bothers him, right? He's making changes because he knows there's something wrong, and that's obvious.
Yeah.
And he has done that, so you can't
And
question.
that's why
him
I
wanting to
have
be
such
great.
love and respect for him because the way he handles shit, he's not. I don't think Stanton is on the IL. He's injury prone and he's brittle, right? And
Yeah.
and he's trying, right? And
Yeah.
I know they're professionals and trying to win a World Series, so fuck trying, stay on the field. But he's doing something which a lot of guys wouldn't do.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's right.
Once they get the big contract, what's the point for some of them? And you're seeing
Yeah,
that
so-
too with Rodon with the videos we're seeing and his appearance. So these guys are guys that really aren't going to accept mediocrity in themselves. So regardless of their contracts, they're going to
Yeah,
really want to perform.
You do got to be happy with the minor stuff that we're getting a chance to see with some of the guys who did not perform.
Yep.
Because I think the last thing you'd want to see is Carlos Rodon coming in looking like, all right,
Yeah.
man, let's be real. He was never fat. He was never like a guy
No.
you looked at as like, this guy's completely out of shape. But Matt Blake said it. Matt Blake said he probably didn't come in,
And he was definitely
the
dad bod
healthiest.
in it last
He was
year.
a little dad
Mhm.
bod, and no doubt about it.
And you know what? And I'll say this, okay? I don't know. You're a dad
Okay.
too, Pete, so maybe you can
Hey,
tell.
I'm a dad. All
I
right,
was
okay.
I was just looking at pictures of myself from 3
Okay.
years ago, from when right after my daughter was born, and I was a lot bigger than I was now. And I'm like, the sympathy weight is a real thing. And
Yeah.
remember, Ashley was pregnant. His wife Ashley was pregnant
That's true.
last off season. So I'm just saying.
She was,
Just
no
saying.
doubt about it. So maybe, maybe
he was
Rodon's
hurt,
going.
too,
All right,
you know,
nobody's
that-
pregnant. I'm good to go. Okay.
Pregnant wife, bad back. I could see
Yeah.
it. I could
Yeah,
definitely
for
see
sure.
it.
You
For
go
sure.
ahead, you grab an extra lasagna. It happens.
Okay.
No, and as a guy that has a bad back, one of the things that the doctor told me, it was, you're fat, stop being fat, and because losing weight is one of the best things you can do for a
Do
chronic back
doctors still
condition.
say that nowadays? Actually, I'm kind of.
My chiropractor
man.
does. She's awesome like that, though.
My cardiologist did tell him. My cardiologist said the same thing. They're like, listen, you fat bastard, you. All right, lose some weight
with
and you'll
it.
be happy. Okay.
So, all right. So, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. The Yankees will be reporting pitchers and catchers February 14th. So,
Yep.
we're still a couple weeks away from there. What's going to happen the rest of the way? Are they going to
I'll be there.
add another arm in the bullpen? I think that's the most likely scenario. I think they're not. When we say not done, a lot of people on social media are like, they're done. They're not going to do anything. But I think they're going to do something they're going to improve
Yeah.
the depth of this team somehow. Whether that's taking another flyer on a guy like Luke Weaver to add to the mix, or you bringing back Middleton, bringing back Wandy, seeing what the market is for Neris, or maybe Snell does fall into their lap. But I don't think they're done signing guys that are going to contribute to the 26-man roster, whether it's
And,
up here or down here.
And
But-
trades too. I think they still have to DFA somebody to add Weaver. They haven't done that yet. We'll see whoever.
Everybody
that
was
is, but-
freaking about the goddamn 40-man roster. I forgot that Oscar Gonzalez was even there. They even
Yeah, I
signed him.
mean, and on top of that too, I don't think they're going to carry 5 catchers on their 40-man. I don't see that happening. So they still likely have some guys that are going to end up moving in some sort of deal. And another thing to think about too, what is the role of, Peraza, Everson Pereira, and those guys? Do they look to just move them maybe for an additional starter? Maybe somebody at some point sits back and goes, hey, we'll make that deal, and bring somebody in. So I do think there are still chips on the table that they can make a move, but I think it's something like we said before, it's probably going to have to fall on their lap.
Yeah, I mean, if Ben Rortvedt is the odd man out on this 40-man, because the other two are prospects, right? And then you got
Carlos Narvaez and Augustine Ramirez. Yep.
Navarre a
Nice.
prospect, or is he a veteran that they have? I
No,
don't
no,
really-
he's a prospect.
Oh, is he? Who am I getting
I wouldn't
confused with?
consider him like a top prospect. He's not that at all, and people don't see it that way. But he's very good.
Is it Omar
defensively, put up good
Omar
numbers.
Narvaez is a guy? He was with the Mets or something. I think
He
maybe
yes, his
Yeah.
I think it might be his cousin or his brother. I forgot what it is, but
shit.
he's in the major leagues. Yeah,
Yeah, Omar
But-
Narvaez.
he was in the major
Nice.
leagues.
Yeah, and Augustin Ramirez is the other guy, right?
Augustine Ramirez is
August-
definitely he's one of their he might be their best overall catching prospect right now.
And then
especially
obviously
at
the
upper
other
levels.
two are Trevino and Wells, unless
Yeah,
the Yankees are planning on doing something else with Austin Wells. But I don't know. I like Austin Wells. I like his bat, and I didn't see anything
Wells
out
a
of
lot.
I didn't see anything out of him defensively from what we saw that would really cause concern for me. But
I
again,
think
it
he'll
was
be
a
a fan favorite this year.
short sample size. But so I think Rortvedt might be the odd man out, and if that did happen, I would love to hear the conversation Garrett Cole has with Ben Rortvedt, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, well, listen, it's not you, okay? Or maybe it's you. Maybe it's you.
Oh, if that happens, if Cole
For
did
sure.
place that phone call, I would love to be a fly on the wall
I'm
for that
sure.
one. But
Well, no, because you saw their embraces with one another, how often they were kind of contacting each other. Like after a nice outing, Cole and him were just buddy. So I think that would be the guy that would have to break that sort of news. We'll have the
Alright.
exclusive audio.
well, we would.
What else? I mean,
definitely.
we got prospect info here. We're pulling out names that you fucking comparing Omar Narvaez to fucking people. No
We
one
don't
does
do
it
that.
like NYYU.
We had the
No,
GM on,
it's
and
really-
Ryan had internet
look,
connectivity
I
problems.
forgot about that because I wasn't here for that. We had
Damn
the
Ethernet.
we had the
Damn
general
Ethernet.
manager, the Cashman.
Oh, where are you going to
Ethernet's
find?
fault.
Where are you
Yeah,
going to find it? You're going to find it here live on NYYU every Thursday night throughout the rest of the offseason at 8:30 for the
Mhm.
NYYST podcast. Again, if you're still in the chat and you haven't done so already, hit the like button, subscribe to NYYU, tell a friend, okay? Tell your scumbag neighbor to listen to NYYST
Definitely.
and watch NYYU. I don't know. Does everybody have scumbag neighbors? I just
I
did
don't-
because I don't know.
I'm
I
not
told my
saying
wife
mine.
this
Is
the
it
other day.
us? It might be us.
It might
I
be
mean,
us.
that's something I say a lot. I'm like, is it us? It might be us.
I told my wife this
We
the
the
other
bad guys?
day that we live on a corner in the house next to us.
Okay.
I said the lady that lives next door is the best neighbor I can ever imagine, right? And she goes, "You don't even know her name," and I go, "That's fucking why." Know nothing about her. She doesn't come out of the house. I might see her drive down the street once a month. That's the best neighbor.
So
That's the
we
best
got the
neighbor.
chat talking about their neighbors now. Nick says my neighbor's a scumbag. Tony G says my neighbor steals my packages.
Oh
Get
shit.
a fucking ring camera or something, bro.
Only at NYYU, folks, do you get
Neighbors.
this in the chat.
Funny.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. We want to thank everybody that's been in the chat tonight. We want to thank everybody for their continued support of NYYST and NYYU. We want to thank you for listening and watching episode 364 of the NYYST podcast. SGR,
Go Yanks.
Pete, say goodbye.
Peace.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I've been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text from way down.